Hey, welcome back to Think Your Way to an Epic Life. And I want to tell you about the guest that we're about to introduce you to today is absolutely amazing. She has won my heart completely. You have heard of Joy Junction, and you really, really want to listen to this podcast. What Elma has been through to get to this point is absolutely incredible. Hundreds of meals are served every day. This is a way for you to figure out what's really going on in Albuquerque, how you can help, that kind of stuff. And so please enjoy Elma. Thank you for coming to our podcast today.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
This is so exciting. So you have been in charge of Joy Junction for, as you lovingly call it, JJ.
Yeah.
You have been in charge of JJ for almost 5 years now.
Yeah, correct.
So let's go back to the inception of it, when Jeremy started it. Your late husband started it when?
Jeremy started Joy Junction in 1986, in the summer of 1986. I mean, it's 36 years ago. So before he started Joy Junction, he himself experienced homelessness. It was a short period of time, but yes, he did experience homelessness. And at that time, he has young kids, a wife, and 2 kids at the time. Started with 2 kids that they'll get separated. His wife somewhere in Florida, and he come in this part of America to seek for whatever he can do, because in Florida they lost their house, their apartments, he lost his job, and he was seeking whatever God wants him to do, because he comes to America from England. Prior to that, he thought that his calling is to be an evangelist. And it didn't work that way. And without any, in England, he grew up like everything is given, growing up in a middle-class family, boarding school. So he doesn't do anything like skills about work, so nothing like that. So when he was here and having a family, that is very hard. So, before that, 1986, prior to that, he was homeless for a short period of time, but that was very hard on him. He almost gave up and, hitchhiking in somewhere in Texas, until afterwards, after several weeks, he arrived in Santa Fe. And then in Santa Fe, he found a church, friends, and then he worked whatever odd jobs he can do, able to get his wife to Santa Fe. And after a while, he lost again his job. And I think that's time someone told him, I think it's a blessing in disguise, because he always wanted a ministry. So you can start a ministry. So he started actually in Santa Fe. They call it, I forgot, it's a coffee house. But, serving donuts and coffee for those homeless men around that area until it grows. And then after 2 years or 3 years, he gave up. For some reason, he gave up. Drunk guy punched him, lost his front teeth, and he said, Lord, no more homeless ministry. And you can say never with the Lord, because if that's how you are destined for, the Lord will bring you there. So he come to Albuquerque. He thought of find a job here that, away from homeless ministry. But the last thing he knows afterwards is he started Joy Junction. In 1986, when all the agency that helping homeless families are about to close. So when Joy Junction just started, not even open yet, there are already families that lining up to come to Joy Junction.
Wow.
That's how it started. And it was, as what Jeremy's words is like, it wasn't always like there were a lot of bumpy roads along the way. But here we are, 36 years after.
36 years after.
Yes.
And where are we now? Here we are. How many families are you serving in what capacities?
Well, Joy Junction can serve as much as 350 people a night. So mostly our families, we prioritize families, single mom, single dad, and especially single women. And single male, we have very limited spot, but yeah, whenever we have available, we take them. And we prioritize family because of Jeremy's experience. So, whenever a family calls, or if they don't have any means of transportation to the shelter, we arrange transportation. And it depends on daily basis or in a certain months that depends on how many families we have. Like, for example, right now we have probably more than 20 families, aside from single women, elderly. It's mixed. So we really, as whatever the condition of the person, and at least the pass the background check, because we have kids, we have women, so it has to be clean with the background check from sexual assault charge and domestic violence. Domestic violence, sometimes if domestic violence charge was like 10 years ago and nothing come up since then, people change. So we weigh and give people a chance, give somebody a chance. Maybe he's not the same person anymore. So we warn them. We want them to be, not do anything that against the rules at the shelter. So before, there's so many kids. I think at least we have like 60 to 75 kids. Now, not so much, but we always have like from 25 up to 45. So that's still a lot.
So you have 25 to 45 children that live at Joy Junction?
Yeah, yes.
Pretty much full time?
Yes. I mean, they could live like 1 month or more than a year or 2 years. It depends on the situation of the family, because some, they apply for housing. And, if you don't have all the documents that you need, and then they have to wait until they get the birth certificate of the kids, anything, all those documents that needed from the agency that they're applying for a housing. And then it depends also if a family have some kids that have like let's say, disability. Sometimes those kind of families get faster approval for a housing. So it depends on the condition. If one of the parents willing to work or willing to do a volunteer works. For example, we have a mom with 8 kids.
Wow.
Single mom. I don't know how it happened, but
yes, you do.
So yeah, but afterwards, actually, the only time that it was hard to get a house because of the member of the family, so they need a bigger house with more rooms. So until they get one, and now she is volunteering with the agency some hours of her hours to the organization that help her with the housing. So it depends on the situation of the family. And some elderly also find our case manager are helping them to find a housing, affordable for them with their income that they have. So we have a good case manager that very passionate of what he's doing, and very fast. She can communicate with other different organization where they can get help. And
so you collaborate with
with
how many different organizations?
Oh, on top of my head, I don't know, but with the Heating Home, what else? So, we collaborate with Heating Home, with the city agencies.
Any churches?
Yeah, churches, not so much. Churches are more involved in volunteering and giving gifts to us, financial gifts, something like that. But not so much. It's more on agencies, government agencies that have programs about housing.
So you take no government money at all?
Nothing at all, zero, ever since.
Whew.
And until now, that's how we will continue that way.
Why is that so important?
Well, that if we have funds from government, we are limited to what we can do. Mm-hmm. And with private donation, we can set our own roles. But we are a faith-based ministry, but we accept anyone, regardless of religion, sex, gender, and race. Jeremy's mantra is, let God do the judging, and let's do the loving. Let's do the loving, and let God do the judging.
I love that.
That's how, he always said, like, I was a different person now than I used to be. He was more of black and white before. I think he said after he got his PhD in international intercultural education, he said he was a different person. He's more peaceful and happy, loving people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet your husband a couple times in the past with different things. He came and spoke and his passion for what you do is palpable. He just had so much love. He made a major difference in his lifetime, and then he passed it on to you. How? Wow.
Well, it started this way. Before I met Jeremy, I was in Israel for 19 years. I worked there as a caregiver with old people. And I was in my mid-50s. No, not mid-50s, mid-40s. Something like 45, 46. I said, Lord, if you have somebody for me, because like I'm still single. I'm a single mom. When I was 25, I became a single mom. I was still single when I was 45. And like, why it's hard to find the right person. And I didn't know then that God has somebody for me. So at that time, when I was 40, going 46, I said, Lord, if you have somebody for me, set aside somebody for me, then I want to get married before I reach 50. I see that in a very casual way, like, but talking to the Lord, talking to God, like, like in front of me, I said, I'm very realistic. There are times that we praise to God, and we glorify Him in a different way. But there are times that I also talk to Him like just my father,
Yes.
So I said, I want to marry before I am 50. If ever you have a plan for me to get married, so I could still enjoy life, and that's how it is. I wasn't so serious in putting my profile on eHarmony. It's just a curiosity because it's pop up on my screen. That I never expect more than that. But I thank the Lord that I honestly answer all the questions. I almost give up. So this is too much question. But there's keep going or you're almost done. It's like, so I did, and they gave me 3 days trial period. No, I wasn't a member. Only 3 days trial period, and the last day, that's it. I said, this is it. So I said, this is the last group, and I saw Jeremy's profile, and I just hear, like, I think I put a like emoji. I don't remember, because it's like I'm in a ministry feeding this such how many meals a month with working with the homeless people, helping homeless people, and it's like, wow, I want to learn it, because I didn't expect more, because what he's looking is a woman with journalism background, and I don't have those. That's why I said, I'm not the one you're looking, but I wanted to learn how you started a ministry, because maybe someday, I will be doing a ministry. I thought in the Philippines. I'm from the Philippines, so that's how it started. Our conversation started that way, and email, and then he's come to see me in Israel for the first time, and he asked if I don't mind to be engaged. And I said, well, we were in Bethlehem at the time. I said, why not? And that's how it is. Wow. And thought that will be just, be a wife, taking care of him, a praying wife, and be there, whatever he needs, and not expecting more than that. But I remember exactly when I was walking on the promenade in Tel Aviv in Israel. I bring him to a hotel because he's the directionally challenged person. And going back to my place, and said, Lord, is he the one? That was the first night when I, is he the one? he's the kind of person, like what he's doing. I mean, that's the kind of person I like, but I don't have those butterflies. And when we were young, that's how we fall in love. And I said, but I feel it in my heart when the Lord speak to me, Elma, you and Jeremy together, I will use you in a way that you never imagined. I was crying going home.
I bet.
I was crying going home. But when Jeremy got diagnosed with cancer, I said, Lord, I remember that night you told me you will use me and Jeremy in a way that we never imagined. But with this diagnosis, it's like he's sentenced to death, and I will be a widow soon. So is it like just my thinking at the time, But I'll just trust the Lord. And when Jeremy passed away, that's when I understand. And until now, I said, Lord, you're right. I never expect this. Never, 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 never in my dream that I will run a homeless shelter. But with God, nothing is impossible. He could use the foolishness of the world to prove that His power and His plan for you. And that's why, sometimes, I should be worried. Why should be worried if you're just doing what the Lord asked you to do? So I think that's how my faith, I grew up in a Christian home, but, along the way, I'm trying to get away from what the Lord wants me to do. I want to prove that I can do it on my own. I want to prove that I don't need help from anyone, but over and over, and it's like, I'm tired. It's like, no matter how I work hard, it's like nothing happened. So it's like, I know there is something. I know I can feel it in my heart that there is something more that I can do, but I don't know what it is. And until I'm here and, working with Jeremy, it's like that hole was filled up.
Yeah. Wow. I can't even imagine the stories. I wish this podcast could last hours and hours and hours. Give me one, just one of your favorite. I know that you have probably hundreds, but one of your favorite stories of someone's life being transformed by JJ.
Okay, so many people that come to JJ. I think the best story is one lady that have problem with alcohol and drugs, and she have kids, 2 kids that living with her mother, separated from her husband, and then she come to JJ. And then, she able to change her way of life. And then we hired her. She worked with JJ for a while, first volunteer coordinator and then driver. And then after a while, she moved out of property and got another job. And now, until now, she's doing good. And her relationship with the Lord is flourishing, her faith in the Lord. And she got her kids back. They are now in college.
Wow.
And recently, I think early this year, she bought a house.
Oh my gosh. How does that feel to you that you got to have some hand in it? Not, we know who did it.
Well, it's God's hands doing something. I mean, we are just instrument. We can't impose them to change. We can plant the seed of love and God's love to them. It could grow. It might grow not there while they are at Joy Junction, maybe somewhere along the way when they are in another place. But we can start, planting the seeds and nurturing it. And, we can't change them on our own. It will be the Holy Spirit and that person when they are really willing to give up themselves to the Lord and give the Lord a chance to help them. Because no matter how we want them to change, no matter how the Lord wants them to change, we have the choice. God giving us freedom, freedom of choice, what we want. We are not a robot. So I think when you really come to that turning point that yeah, this is it. I'm sick and tired of this life, and I want to change my life. And it's not possible. We have a lot of that with our staff, you know, living in a truck at the back of Walmart. And now he's our resident service manager.
Wow. Okay, so he went from living in a truck behind Walmart
With his family.
To having a very respectable position with an income where he can support his family. Whew.
So, and one is Robin, he was a drug dealer, and he also bringing illegal people from Mexico to here, and then he got caught. He was in jail, and then I think someone referred him to Joy Junction. No, he was in jail, and someone talked about him at Joy Junction, and that's how he ended up at Joy Junction. And then I think he decided to change his ways of life. Now he has one boy. He has two boys. One is in college at UNM, UNM, and one is working with us at the front office. A wife, lovely wife. So he's like, I have a good life. I mean, with that decision that he made. So, you know, you never know. You never know how the Lord works on somebody's life. I mean, when, you know, like Joy Junction, every person that comes to our doorstep, you know, they have their own story. Every one of us have a story to tell. And just give them a chance. We always say like, yeah, we can give second chance, third chance, because the Lord, you know, the Lord said, forgive them 70 times 7. You know, the Lord is the Lord of chances, not only second chance, but many chance. I mean, we always do that, and we are so grateful to be in this ministry that the Lord entrusted to us, and it's not only taking care of the physical needs of the people, but most of all, you know, this time when they are so desperate and low, we could reach out to them with the love of God and remind them that no matter what, there is a God, there is hope. There is hope for them when you give God a chance to help them.
Wow, how fulfilling! This is what you do 7 days a week. Every hour you're awake, you're either there or you're thinking about it, right? Pretty much.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Thinking about your junction the whole day, going to bed, the last thing to think in my mind. I wake up, you know, checking if everything is okay with all the ship report. And that's it. I mean, it become my life. And, you know, when I go home to Philippines, like after Jeremy passed away, after a while, I visit my family, and I said, like, if I go home and stay with my family, and I try to feel if it's something that I need, because I'm away from my family all my life. But it's not. My heart is here. It's only for vacation over there. And I understand that why God prepared me for this for 19 years in Israel, because I was away from my family. And I'm getting used to it. And now it's better because we have Facebook, we have Messenger, we have video call, that all is free. Before it wasn't like that. It's hard. So it's just, I said, like, I can't complain. I mean, I have the best life ever. I mean, I'm living the dream job that I mean, I didn't even dream it. It's just like I lay down everything that I want, but the Lord give me more than what I asked for. So that's why you have to be very careful when you pray. I said, Lord, no, I don't want. If ever you want me to marry, I have somebody to get married. I don't want a pastor, but I want somebody that is in the ministry. I don't want a pastor because I think I have this bad experience. Like in Philippines, pastor doesn't have like monthly salary, and it's like I don't want to worry about money anymore. I mean, all my life I'm worried about money, working for money to support my family. I mean, I'm not looking for a rich husband, but someone that could, you know, supply the needs of a family, a wife. I mean, just simple as that. But I want somebody in a ministry that is also in a ministry, because that's where my heart is. But, it was even more probably worse because we are helping the homeless without any sure government funding or what. It's just by faith that those financial gift will come to us, and donation, in-kind donation, time donation. It's all by faith. That's why I don't want to stress out of whatever, how much money will come. Lord, that's your problem, not mine.
There you go.
That's how simple is that. Maybe people, think it's true. Saying, yeah. All my life I live by faith.
That is definitely the way to live.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely the way to live. So someone is out on the streets right now, and they're hurting and they're embarrassed, and they don't know what the next step is. What can you offer them?
Those who are on the street, I know that there's a lot on the street that, based on my experience, even with me and Jeremy before, a lot of them doesn't want to be in a shelter for some reason. That's why we always have in our car like McDonald's card. You can buy a McDonald's card with $5 increment. They can buy food with that. They can't get any change of money from that. They have to get it with food. Or what I did is I have a sack lunches. I have ready-to-eat food like cup noodles. They can get hot water in a gasoline station. The tiny Venus sauces, they can open right away. Any food that they can eat right there. And I put now it's a cold season now. You can put socks. If you have, slightly used socks, not dirty, slightly used, clean. You can put it in a bag with whatever you have, a jacket. I always put in my car. So, when I pass to the corner and it's stoplight, I said, here, there is like the other day. Here, I have only 2 pair of new socks that donated from hands to us. I still have in the car. So he gave it, and right away he sit on the corner. I saw that 1 foot, he has shoes, 1 foot has no socks. So he put the socks on.
Wow.
So it's wow, I didn't know. So, small things, they will never say no. So, yeah, it's sack lunches with bottled water, food, crackers, something. Especially it's cold, gloves and bonnets and lip... chapstick. That's very important. Or something, hand cream, because it's cold outside.
How can the average person who does have a home, how can they help you?
Well, they can help us through in-kind donation. If it is food, it has to be non-perishable. Canned goods, beans in can, tomato sauce, spaghetti, pastas. Those are the things anything that, don't need a refrigerator. So we can store them for the whole year.
So if somebody has in their pantry a whole bunch of extra food that let's say they became gluten-free and they have all this pasta, you want them to give that
Yes,
to you.
as long as they are still on the expiration, away from the expiration date due to the health department.
Sure.
Yes, those are welcome. They can drop off at any time at the shelter, 4500 2nd Street. Our donation time from food and in-kind donation is at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And, slightly used clothing. If you're going to change your things in your kitchen, those items is very helpful when a family get out of Joy Junction. We offer them, hey, you need the kitchen items, you need a blanket, or anything that we can help, because that's the purpose why we accept those donations. And although sometimes they are very adamant to accept because, hey, you provide us a place to stay already, food and everything. It's like, yeah, it's okay, we can do it. But, we have to help them in a way, whatever we can help.
Okay.
So, yeah, and prayer.
Prayer.
Yes, that's very important, especially for our staff, not only for our residents, but for our staff.
How many people are on your staff?
We are now at 40.
40 people
Yes.
are on staff
and,
at Joy
and that
Junction.
and that is very short-handed. We are very short-handed.
And they're very short-handed. So if you're looking for a job,
Yes, we are opening a job. We have opening job of drivers, volunteer coordinator, and supervisors and maintenance crew.
so right now someone could come in, and if they're qualified, they could start working at Joy Junction.
Yes,
and serving. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that's your job? You actually are getting paid to bless people.
Yes.
Wow.
If you have a passion to help people, not only because you work for check, but of course you will get a check. We need to live. So, but at the end of the day, you are helping, and you are a part of organization that helping people that are really, really need a lot of help. So yeah, and you can volunteer also.
You can volunteer. Okay.
Yeah, you can serve meals. You can volunteer in the kitchen. I mean, you can, when you reach out to us, our volunteer coordinator, they can email at patrick@joyjunction.org, or go to our website,
Patrick@joyjunction.org.
And or you can go to our website. You can choose how there is a portion. Click on how you can help.
How you can help.
Yeah, but if you want to volunteer, you can discuss with our volunteer coordinator, Patrick, and what you want to do. If you want to do on the property cleaning, because we have a very big property, 52 acres property. So we need a lot of help.
52 acres on 2nd Street downtown. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you need that kind of help. And I saw on your website that you are doing a big Thanksgiving meal on the 23rd.
Yes.
What do you need anything for that? Or maybe this would be more for people who would really love to have a nice meal.
Yes. Volunteers are already filled up. So if those who are listening to us now, if during that day you don't have any means, during the Thanksgiving, you don't have any means of, cooking a Thanksgiving meal, you're alone or you're hungry. That's it. You don't have to be homeless to be at the Thanksgiving feast. If you're hungry, go down to Convention Center. We're started at 11 in the morning on Wednesday and up to 2. So we have 11, 12, 1. So people are not just coming at one time. So, but we are from 11 and we close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
So we have all the turkey and with all the trimmings, the pie, pumpkin pie, and we have all the volunteers. It's a good time for other people to come because, with the volunteers, it's not just a tradition. It's a perfect way of showing that, we are just family.
Okay, what about the kids? What about the kids that come and are volunteers?
Well, if they're volunteers kids, as long as they have with them an adult, if they are below 18 years old, they have to have an adult accompanied by an adult. So, or a family can come for this dinner. They are welcome.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay!
They are welcome, most welcome, and could share. Could have dinner together.
Yeah, it's a great thing. So guys, please think about how blessed you are right now. If you're living in a home, you are beyond blessed, and there's a lot of people who could really use some help. And you might not think you can help, but boy, she has given us 100 different little things that you could do to make a difference. So please reach out, don't hesitate, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.